Hello, my good friends. I am back in voiceover to talk to you about Sanderson's Secret Project 2, The Frugal Wizard's Guide to Surviving Medieval England. Let's go. So, I thought this was a time travel novel. It's actually not. It's an interdimensional novel. So, it takes place in the future, and you can pay to, I guess, go into another dimension, which is similar to medieval England. There are a bunch of stipulations, blah, 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 blah. But we got the amnesia trope in this one. Our main dude, whose name's John, I don't know if that's like a nod to John Wick or something. I've never seen or read John Wick, but do with that information as you will. He has amnesia, so we got the amnesia trope. What does that remind you of? Well, for me, I immediately thought of Jason Bourne, and I was like, haha, Jason Bourne, fantasy novel, yeah, right. Well, guess what? Our dude, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but our dude John is a cartel agent guy who has amnesia, finds out he's not the greatest guy in his other life. So he goes to this alternate medieval England, can't remember who he is, can't remember why he's there, and slowly but surely, like Jason Bourne, his memories come back to him. Well, these memories, of course, they're not always good. But guys, this book is so silly. And honestly, it felt like a proxy on Discworld and the Bourne Identity at the same time. And y'all, I was here for it. It's the first silly, fantasy book I've ever read. I've never read Discworld. And I have read the Bourne Identity. Of course, I've seen the movies. The movies are like chef's kiss great. The novel's quite different, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. But The Frugal Wizard's Guide to Surviving Medieval England is actually a book within a book, and it's blown up when our guy John gets there, and he meets this woman named Cephawin who thinks he's an elf, and it's just really, really cute. I don't know, feels like the wrong word, but it's clever. Yes, there are some mistakes when it comes to like what medieval England was like. John says at the beginning of the novel, he's like, wow, all the colors are really, really kind of bright. Are they um, period specific or period accurate? And yeah, people in medieval England and just medieval Europe dressed really gaudily to the point that we would just think it was hideous and tasteless. So yeah, it is accurate. I don't know if Sanderson knows that, but there's also another sort of cute reference to medieval manuscripts in there called marginalia. And if you don't know what marginalia is literal doodles in the margins of a manuscript. And that is actually where our most accurate depictions of medieval life come from. I had a professor tell me once that if you're having trouble dating something, when all else fails, look to fashion. And fashion and fads, they are all throughout these marginalia. So there's actual marginalia in this book that goes along. I read it on Kindle, and yes, I was able to see the art, but it's just not the same. Will I get the nice version? Probably not. It feels a little off to me to pay a bunch of money for like a nice version of a really silly book. And I was so surprised. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. If you were expecting typical Sanderson from this, I think you'd be really, really disappointed. But if you go in it like me, knowing that it's going to be just straight up stupid, then I think you'll love it. And to be honest, you guys know I like cringe sex in books, so I read a lot of, or I've started to read a lot of erotica. And reading this book was basically the same feeling I get from reading erotica. It was like instead of cringe sex, there were cringe jokes, kind of like Saturday Night Live where you like groan and laugh at the same time because it's so stupid, but still it is kind of funny. And yeah, I found myself laughing out loud, chuckling, and I enjoyed it. And I think it'll resonate more with reviewers than just the average reader, especially the average reader of Sanderson. And I read this knowing it wasn't going to be 5 stars. It wasn't like groundbreaking. But again, same as Tress, I had the problem with Sanderson making things a little bit too easy on his characters. Our dude John solved his problem just a little too easily, and it was kind of like, why didn't he do that at the beginning? Like, why didn't he just? What was the point of reading this whole thing if he's just going to easily get out of it? So that was my only true problem, and it was really just a fun, silly book, and I can't recommend this enough if you are in a reading slump. So that is my review for the Frugal Wizard's Guide for Surviving Medieval England, otherwise known as Secret Project 2, and I mean, guys, it's a must-read for reviewers. So that is it. That is it for me. Keep reading, keep writing, keep loving words, and I will see y'all or talk to y'all next time. Bye.